Here we go. I've got a funny feeling we're dropping down into the valley. I was going to say the valley of death.
Let's not call it that, eh?
No, let's not. Oh, it rattles your bones, doesn't it? Hey.
I mean, I'm hanging on to this handle for dear life.
This is a challenge, Elvis. Yes, yes, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Trust me, I'm failing slightly.
It's all right, we're not done yet.
After wheeling and dealing our way across the UK, fixing up hundreds of cars, it's time for a new challenge. Look at you. You had a mullet.
At least they had colour cameras when I did mine. Look, yours is still black and white.
So we're setting off on a global adventure to buy some of the world's most iconic cars. Listen to the sound! And with the help of local wheeler dealers,
Affari a quattro rotte.
yeah, I am saying, rescue these national treasures
I'll tell you what, brother, she's pretty tidy under here.
and make a few euros, dollars. You got yourself a deal.
Thank
well
you.
done. And Zloty in the process.
Oh, you got a convertible! Look at that!
This has been a boyhood dream.
Oh!
This is absolutely blooming brilliant.
Oh, look at the scenery.
The scenery is stunning, isn't it? This is what I was hoping for from our Australian adventures. Some red, dusty roads, us just bouncing along in a big 4x4 is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? This is the go-to vehicle in Australia. It's all about Toyota. In fact, the Toyota Hilux pickup truck is the biggest selling vehicle in Australia out of all makes and models.
Is that right?
Yeah. So the surprise that I've got for you is I've already bought one.
What? I haven't even seen it.
I've kept it from you, and I'm sorry, but it just came up, and I just had to buy it. And it seems so good, I just clicked the button and bought it on an impulse purchase.
Okay.
But I think I've done all right, because it's a 1999, it's a dual cab, it's a 2.7 litre petrol, manual, and it looks all right. Since washing up on these shores in the 1960s, the Hilux has entrenched itself as deeply in Aussie culture as cricket and Kylie.
They've got the perfect balance of pickup truck ruggedness at the rear and saloon comfort up front. Whether you need to haul a ton of bricks or drop the kids off at school, their versatility is almost endless.
Exactly, which is why it's the perfect choice for my master plan. I've already got this idea for this Hilux, which is to turn it into a proper mean off-roader. Can get it into the city slickers. You know, attractive to people that want to go out and see the outback at the weekend and take their kids with them.
Yeah? OK, yeah. What do we pay for it then?
I got this one, I think, for a bargain price. It was just 11,000 Australian, which is just over £5,000.
What's the mileage?
Let me just manage your expectations about things until we stand in front of it, eh?
OK, so incredibly high.
The previous owner shipped our Hilux from the other side of the country to his mate Alex's sheep farm out in the bush for us to collect it.
Yeah, which sounds worryingly like the beginning of a horror movie to me.
Don't worry, Elvis, I'll protect you. Ah, you must be Alex.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm Mike.
Mike, nice to
Hey,
see you,
Alex,
mate.
I'm Elvis. Nice to see you.
So you've got my ute somewhere.
You sure do. It's just around the side with the keys in, and if you just want to take it for a spin.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Easy.
Right, time for us to see what Mike spent $11,000 on. Oh, there it is, isn't it? It's a little bit battered and tired. He probably had $1,000 by just tidying it up and cleaning it. It was covered in red dust. It's had a bit of a rough life, but...
Tyres are good, but I'm not too sure I like the wheels or the tyres, to be honest with you. Maybe they could be improved. Spare wheel.
Watch out for the snakes.
Yeah.
It's a bit rough around the edges, and look, it's even got a little ding in the side here.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Elvis, that doesn't look like a vehicle that shows its mileage.
Well, what is the mileage? Is that right? That can't be right.
300,000 kilometres.
Seriously?
300,000 kilometres.
Mate, we need to drive it because goodness knows what the engine's going to be like, what the suspension's going to be like. That's a ridiculous amount of miles.
You're probably expecting the engine at 300,000 kilometres to be trashed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, being a Toyota, I know when you turn that key, it's just going to fire into life. Go for it.
So we go.
Please. Please. Ah! Yes! Right, well, listen, mate, let's have a proper dig into it. Let me check out the interior. You go down the back and let's find out if there's any faults in it whatsoever. Right, OK. It doesn't look like it's done 300,000 kilometres, does it?
I can see on the end of the leaf springs here, the rubber bushes have started to be forced out, started to break up and deteriorate. 300,000 kilometres is a lot of mileage. And I just hope there's nothing that I can't see from here that we haven't found until we really get this up on a ramp and start pulling it apart.
Let's just hope the air conditioning works. It's hotter than a kangaroo's pouch out here today. Why don't you take it for a spin? I'll jump in the passenger seat. Oh, yes. Here we go. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, Tiger. That's it. Get it straight. That's all right, isn't it,
Oh,
eh?
my goodness, that is a lot of fun. Now that's out of my system, let's get into the detail. Just a couple of times there, when I put my foot down, you can feel, I'm pretty sure it's the rear axle just hopping, like skipping over the bumps a little bit. And I did notice when I was underneath, some of the bushes at the back end of the leaf spring are just starting to deteriorate, bits of rubber coming out. It may be that we got a little bit of metal on metal.
I think it's fair to say it's stuck back in an age, this vehicle, and there is definitely room for improvement.
I mean, look, we want this to be able to be capable of taking on even the roughest terrain, because if you're going to go and take it out and have some fun at the weekend, that's what you want to do. I want to give it the capability to properly off-road. Oh, that was a good proper off-road.
It was a good one. I could feel that in my spine.
I've got to say, this is a huge gamble, buying something with such high mileage without even seeing it first. When I get it up on a ramp, who knows what you're going to find. There's no way a car that's done this level of mileage hasn't got something wrong with it. We just haven't found it yet. And to do that, I'm going to need to get it to a workshop and some specialist kit.
Don't worry, I found the perfect base for us. The only issue, it's a 4-hour drive away. Let me see if I can get some tunes on the old radio, maybe a bit of Men at Work.
Yeah, nice one, mate.
I'm taking us back to Bathurst, just a stone's throw from the iconic Blue Mountains. It's home to some epic off-roading terrain. And our pals at West End Garage, Joe and Sally. Right then, guys, this is the one.
How many Ks were on this one?
Believe it or not, it's done 300,000 kilometres.
You got it at a good price?
We paid, this is the bit where we find out if we did the right or wrong thing, we paid $11,000 for it.
Yeah. Should be able to get some profit out of that.
Yeah? Yeah, right. Should we get it in a workshop, get it in the air and see what's wrong with it?
Absolutely.
Lovely. Let's go to work. Go on, keep going, keep going, keep going. I reckon about there. Woohoo! Right, I'll leave you to it for the minute.
I'm certain there's going to be things wrong with this Hilux that I didn't spot on our test drive. It's covered the equivalent of 7.5 trips around the planet. But my biggest concern right now is the state of those suspension bushes. Look at that. That is one of the worst suspension bushes I've ever seen. It's utterly destroyed. I mean, if Mike and I are going to turn this into a car that can take on even more extreme terrain, we're going to want to test it. So there's no way we can have anything like that anywhere around this machine.
we're down under, celebrating the great Australian ute. A car that's so important over here, they've even turned it into art. So what do you think then, mate?
Well, I think it's hot, but this place is amazing, isn't it?
It is, yes. This is a celebration of everything the ute has done for Australia. It's an artwork. Like this one, look, that's a kangaroo.
It's very cool. Such an iconic vehicle, isn't it, for this country?
Whilst we're not transforming our Hilux into a 40-foot high marsupial, it does need to become an off-roading masterpiece, so I need to get back to work. We're trying to create the ultimate weekend warrior to take on Australia's toughest terrain, which means upgrading the suspension, starting with replacing those ruined bushes. Having spoken to Joe, who runs this place, it turns out that this was actually a common failure. It was actually a product recall from the manufacturer because the manufacturing defect meant this happened a lot. So it's not uncommon to have to fit new ones. When we head off-road, these new poly bushes are going to improve the handling by absorbing some of the bumps and dampening the amount of vibration that passes up into the chassis. Now, this is where things can get a little bit tricky. What we're trying to do is push this sort of U-shaped bracket with two bolts through the middle of both bushes. It'll go in the first half easy, but what tends to happen is it then wants to push the other half of the bush out the opposite side. Sometimes it works like a dream. Other times, you can be here for hours.
Whilst Elvis fiddles with his bushes in the workshop, I ventured an hour outside of Bathurst to the real thing. Oh, this is good. I love it. I've done tons and tons of off-roading, but I've never done any in Australia. Never. This is a first for me. I'm heading out with Simo, the master of the bush, to figure out what mods will help us conquer terrain like this and turn our Hilux into the ultimate off-roader. I love Australia. I really do. So you've got, I call them rhubars, but you've got brush bars on the front of this, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a bull bar up front. I don't know if we'll see many kangaroos today because it's a bit wet and miserable, but we do have a lot of kangaroos and wombats. A bull bar and brush bar just gives a bit of protection. Yeah. We've got a pretty challenging decline and incline coming up.
Stop the wagon for a minute. I just want to see with my feet how steep that looks.
Yep, don't fall over. Yeah, so,
okay, well, I'll try not to fall down a mountain.
Yeah, don't slip down the hill.
Well, Simo, this is properly steep.
It is, Mike. Yeah. Yep, and it's going to get a little bit steep as we make our way down. I mean, you asked me to bring you someone to challenge the car, so I brought you right here, mate.
Yeah, but remember, we're in a brand new Toyota. Will my 99 Toyota Hilux be able to cope with terrain like this, do you think?
I think so, Mike. I think, yeah.
You weren't that positive. You were, I think so.
Well, I haven't seen it. With a few modifications, I think with a good set of tyres will make a massive difference to any car.
Nice big grippy tyres?
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. OK. Yeah. All right. You're already spending my money. Blimey, I've got to go for tyres now. Shall we give it a try then?
Let's go. Yeah.
You know, there is this perilous edge at the side of this track. There are trees to stop us, which is nice, so we'll only roll down so far before we'd hit a tree.
Yeah, well, don't jinx me, Mike, but I'm not planning on doing that, mate, at all.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I thought our research mission couldn't get any more extreme. We've come down to the water's edge. I can see the river beside us, fast flowing. Well, it looks deep in places. But I'm getting the impression that Simo's got one final surprise up his sleeve. Wow! Look at this! Right, OK, so that's got me thinking then. We're going to have to take certain precautions, aren't we, and preparations on our vehicle.
I wouldn't be doing a river crossing like this without a snorkel. Yeah.
That's a tough one, because putting a snorkel on the vehicle means that you have to cut a hole in the wing. That's a lot more work for Elvis.
Yeah, it is, but if you value your safety, you're going to have to spend some money, because you don't want to drown your car or get washed downstream.
It's best to do it.
Yeah.
Right, OK, let's take on the river. Let's go boating.
Sounds great, mate.
I love it. Look at that. It's so alien, isn't it? Driving a car into water is completely alien. This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That's a job well done.
It's a nice cruisy one today.
Now I found out all the things that we're going to need to tackle this terrain, I've got to make a very difficult phone call to Elvis. I'm really hoping he doesn't answer. Oh, he's answered. Hello, Elvis.
Hey, mate. How you doing?
Honestly, fan-bloomin-tastic out here. The landscape is amazing.
Nice.
But I've now discovered we need a few things to put onto our vehicle.
Yeah, go on then.
We are going to need proper big tyres on it. And I mean big tyres with a big grip pattern.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, we've just been through this beautiful river, and it is lovely.
I can hear the river in the background. Oh, I know where you're going to go.
We might have to cut holes in the car, though.
You want a snorkel? We will have to cut holes in the car.
You love that.
Well, listen, you find me one of those. I'll crack on.
Ta-ra, mate.
Ta-ra.